up on this month's edition of The Bark. It's a new year, so there's been freshmen getting used to the changes, and we'll have some information on how it's been for them.
Our sports anchor, Benjamin, will be bringing you some news about our sports teams.
We also got The Bark After Dark, where Christian is going to talk about some games and movies. Let's get started. Welcome back, Bulldogs, to The Bark. We hope everyone's first few weeks of school are going well.
Homecoming is this month, and we got the requirements for you.
Homecoming is around the corner, Bulldogs, so here are the requirements that you need in order to get in. Above a 2.0 GPA, no D's or F's, no level 3 or 4 referrals, and no more than 2 absences.
Speaking of this new year, we were wondering how the freshmen feel about these big changes as they move on from middle school. So I had our reporter, Dee, go out and talk to some freshmen.
A first year can be nerve-wracking for everybody, but especially when you're in an entirely different school.
It's pretty awesome. It's better than my middle school because middle school, pretty tough. This is honestly getting easier to equip with. It was a lot of tragic. There were a ton of fights, which means it was harder to get to classes. And kids were very scary because of my height.
Freshmen in CHS have a mix of nerves and excitement for their upcoming school year at their new school. The change from middle school to high school has been described as much different, but on the other side, not very different at all. It seems that the comparisons are all about perspective and how hard a student works. According to some students and staff, high school can be one of the most important periods in someone's life. For more information, go to barkmedianetwork.com. I am George Luis Fonseca Morales of The Bark. Back to you guys.
Now it's time for our sports segment run by our very own Benjamin Will. He's got some.
Cow. It's really dark back there. Just like I got like trapped back there, like I couldn't breathe. It was like super dark.
We're busy.
We're
recording.
Don't go back there.
We're recording.
Don't go back there. Don't go back there.
We are back in business in 2023. School is back in session, which means sports are back in session. The offseason seemed never-ending, but finally, we here at The Bark are so excited to bring you ZSPN Season 2. The Bulldog football team was 1-1 as they welcomed in their rivals from the ranch. Wiregrass had acquired former Bulldog Fred Adams, and tempers were high all throughout the game. The Bulldogs and Bulls combined for 62 total points and 9 total touchdowns. DJ Pickett found pay dirt twice, as well as Rodney Smith and Jacoby Campbell getting touchdowns. Reporter Elijah Lazardo was on scene with the football team.
With this being your last year as a Bulldog and final year to attract college attention, does that affect your mindset and play on the field?
Yeah, it definitely affects my mindset. It makes me go harder on the field so that I can just attract college attention and just end my final year off with a bang.
Thank you. And now with missing over 2 practices this week due to the hurricane, do you feel like that will have any effect on your game this Friday?
I think we're good enough to go out there and just play our game, even though we did miss 2 days of practice this week. But it's definitely a hit. But I think we can just take it on the chin and just keep moving forwards.
All right, thank you. Good luck Friday.
Thank you. It made me and everyone else around me just feel hype, just knowing that we can get that 4th down, stop the little offense, get back on the field, and finish the game out. It definitely has almost a revenge factor. Playing against a former teammate is playing against someone who basically left us. He left our school, he left our team, he left his brothers, so we just had to go out there and beat him and show him that it was a mistake.
The swim team has been affected early on with multiple cancellations due to their up and down weather in Florida. The swim team tries to remain strong, but the multiple cancellations are frustrating and has led to some pretty disappointing days throughout the dog days of summer.
Okay. How frustrating is it when a meet gets canceled, and what does it do for your morals?
It's honestly pretty frustrating because you're putting in the work for the whole week and weeks before that, like practicing, and then it just gets canceled and you're not even able to swim.
All right. How frustrating is it when a meet gets canceled, and what does it do for your morals?
It's honestly very frustrating. It's very agitating because we put in the work all week long, and we get hyped, show what we got, and it gets canceled, and
What is the feeling when a meet gets canceled?
It's honestly very devastating because we get pumped up and hyped, to go against the other opponent, and it all just we'd lose that opportunity.
All right. So do these meets ever get made up?
It honestly depends. If it's convenient for the coaches, it gets made up, but most of them do not get made up at all.
Cross country has sprinted into the second season under Coach Page. The Bulldogs star William Post set a new record, as well as Lydia Vincent finishing 12th out of 201 in her race. Boys golf is under a new coach this year, and we are hoping to see some new bright spots. Our reporter, me, talked to some of the golf players about their new coach. For the 2023 school year, the Zephyrhills Bulldogs golf team will be under new coach. Coach Kirk has stepped up in the absence of the previous coach, and the golf team is very excited to see what results they can get under a new coaching staff.
What's your expectation for the golf team this year?
Man, I got high expectations for the golf team this year. Like I said, we're young, but we're very talented, so I think we got a great shot at making it to regionals.
Thank you and good luck with your season.
Appreciate it.
The golf team has high expectations, especially with all the young talent they have, and hope that in a couple years they can be one of the most dominant golf teams in the district.
How do you feel about the way your season's going so far?
It's going pretty good. Our team's not playing too bad. We're like 5-2 right now.
That's good.
For more information, go to thebarkmedianetwork.com. I am Benjamin Will of the Bark. Back to you. Bulldogs lost opening night to Lake Wales 27-9, but in week 2 were able to bounce back to beat the Villages 27-0. This followed up by a week 3 victory. The Bulldogs would beat Wiregrass 34-28. As well as William Post set his new record in one of the more recent cross-country runs, and Lydia Vincent placed 12th out of 201 in her race for cross-country. And that's all I have for you today. Next week, I'll talk about the Bulldogs' upcoming matchups against Land O'Lakes and Wesley Chapel. But until then, I'm Benjamin Will of the Bark. Woof woof. Signing off.
Now it's time for the Bark After Dark, hosted by me. And I'm going to be talking about Meg 2, Baldur's Gate 3, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Armored Core 6. We also got some students' opinions on some superhero battles.
Last year, this part of the show became a fan favorite. So it is my honor to welcome everybody back to the Bark After Dark with your host, Christian Venton.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Of course.
Welcome back, Bulldogs, to the Bark After Dark. I'm your host, Christian Venton, and today I got some games and movies that came out last month. Let's get started. Meg 2, The Trench came out on the 4th of August, and it didn't do too well. It got a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb, which is unfortunate because the first one was surprisingly pretty good. Baldur's Gate 3 came out on August 3rd for PC and September 6th for console. And the game is really good. It got a 10 out of 10 on Steam and a 10 out of 10 on IGN. And I think if you're looking for a good RPG, you should definitely pick this one up. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre game came out on August 18th, and the game got a 6 out of 10 from IGN and a 7 out of 10 from GameRant. And I agree with the 7 out of 10. Although the game can be really fun, it also gets really boring after a while. And it also feels pretty unbalanced. Armored Core 6 came out on August 25th, and it's doing really good. It got an 8 out of 10 on IGN and a 9 out of 10 on Steam. And the game was developed by From Software, the creators of Dark Souls. So this is a game I'm definitely going to pick up. That's all I got for you today, Bulldogs. Have a good day.
That's all we have for you today. If you want some more info, make sure to visit barkmedianetwork.com. Have a great month, Bulldogs.